Hi friends, it's your girl Becca Sarah. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm doing fine. So today I am going to talk to you about an experience I had recently. So Monday the 17th of February, I went to a AMC unscreened movie, and basically what I've heard was every Monday AMC has a movie that no one has heard about that is in the workshop, meaning that it's like it's usually an independent film that there's trying to get like funding. That movie's trying to get funding for it to be distributed, and pretty much how it goes is if you buy it online or in theaters, the only information that you get is the rating. So it's kind of like when you're doing if you are a traveler and you're like, oh, I want them to pick a place for me to go, you'll know the attire you're wearing to pack, but when you get there you'll know where you're going. And this is the same thing with this. You know the rating of the movie that you're paying for. You know if it's PG, G, PG-13 or R, and then you get regular movie trailers as normal related to like the aka the rating, and then when the trailers are done, because of the AMC movie, you'll see Nicole Kidman, and then you'll see the envelope open and it'll be like, the movie you're seeing is, and then the director of the movie will say blah 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 is the name of the movie, and then tell you a little bit about it, and then the movie will start. They're not extremely long movies. It's like an hour and a half. So my film started at 7. It ended around like 9:10. So not really a long film. And they're usually independent films trying to gain traction and get an audience behind them so they can get a theater release. So the film that we got, because this is what I'm doing, I'm giving feedback to the film, it was My Dead Friend Zoe. And I'm not gonna like spoil anything particularly with the film, because they are trying to get funding to release the film, so I'm not gonna go spoiler heavy. I am going to discuss like if I like the film, is it like something that I'd be interested as a moviegoer to see, and this is very much a military, army, the troops, the veterans kind of film. It's based on that. So like if you're into like the whole or you are a vet and you're into like stories like that, then this is a film for you. I thought this film was like interesting in the way that they did the storytelling. I thought that was really interesting. I thought it was slow at times, like I'm like, and a little bit boring in some places as well. I'm like wanted to like pick it up, and like in the middle, in a Pacific part, I didn't know if we were going to go through flashbacks, or this is like her and her PSTD seeing her dead friend. I got those answers answered in a scene later when like she's talking to her friend Zoe, and then a person in the car doesn't see anyone there. So they do a bunch of like her experience PSTD, seeing her friend Zoe, and her guilt with her friend Zoe dying. I am not going to tell you how she died. And it also does some flashbacks of her time with Zoe in the army as well. So it's a mix of both, which I liked. I feel like it transitioned really well with the going back and the present. And I can't speak for anyone that's in the military or army or struggles with PTSD, or like if this is how it actually happens, but it was like very like interesting way of showing her PTSD and like seeing her friend and like the guilt of her not being there for her friend. And at the end of the movie, they pretty much told you the statistics of like people that were in the army, the navy, the military, and them, how they are living afterlife after they've been there through there, and their struggles, and people that survived, and everything like that going on with the army. I'm trying not to give like too much away, but like it's very, very interesting. It is like slow in some aspects. I don't know if like if it's done, like if they're just like looking for like more funding to release it, or they're gonna add more to it. But I feel like this is a very interesting way to watch a film. It wasn't expensive. It was $8, and they do this every Monday with different ratings. So I think it's a interesting way to like show people movies, and then like them like going based on the rating. And the rating for My Dead Friend Zoe was R, and I don't think it really deserved the R rating. I think it would, in my opinion, it should be PG-13, because I don't, in my opinion, think like it deserved that because of what was happening. There wasn't a lot of like things that I thought that was way too raunchy in the movie. There were some like swear words, but they weren't bad swear words that like it couldn't fall as PG-13, in my opinion. But I think like a lot of, in my opinion, independent films are doing it this way so they can have, you know, a following, so more people can promote it and show it off, and get more people to root for this movie to like either in select films or in select theaters or in theaters worldwide to see their film. So overall, would I go to another AMC Unseen? Yes, I probably would bring a friend, because again, you don't know what you're gonna get. But I would do it again. I would give this movie like, but out of 5, I would give it a 3, because again, like I said, there's a lot of slow points, and there's a lot of points that I feel like were dragging and boring. But I did like how it informed people about what the veterans go through. But there was points that I'm like, well, how did she die? Like, where did she did she die this way? And you find out how she died in the very end. And I feel like we should know how Zoe died more sooner in the movie, in my opinion. And I feel like they put all that at the end. I think it would have been better to us as the audience to know how she died in the middle somehow. And then like just the structure of the film, I would rewrite it in some way. I do like how at the end, when she is our character is in therapy, she is like, oh, her name was Zoe, and then it ends that way. That was a good way of doing that. But I feel like how it happened, this is a little bit of a spoiler, was we find out how Zoe died, and then we have 2 other scenes, and then we get to when our main character is going back to therapy finally, and then they're like, are you ready to share your story? And she's like, I am. And she said, the reason I'm here is because of my friend Zoe, and it ends. And I'm like, no, I feel like it should have been in the middle of the movie, that we at least as the audience had a flashback of how Zoe died, or she told us how Zoe died, right? Instead of it being at the end. But that is my review. I kept it as spoiler free as possible. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!